The battle for the position of Deputy Mayor in the Ethekwini municipality is now over. This is after Zandile Myeni, a long-serving councillor of the NFP, was elected on Friday night on the back of the support of the ANC, EFF and other minority parties in council. Let's speak now to the Deputy Mayor of Ethekwini, Ms. Zandile Myeni. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Congratulations. And as you take up this position, what is your priority focus?
Thank you to the listeners. One of the things that one needs to identify is that there are challenges at Ethekwini. The first thing that will be my focus is to make it a point that our city is clean. Number two is the issue of the aging infrastructure. Number three is to make it a point that there is stability. Because when you look at the nature of coalition, in a coalition, you get different political parties with different principles, but it calls for leaders who can rise above their own petty issues and look at the issues of service delivered. As you have said, my sister, that the battle of the post of the deputy mayor is now filled. It means that it is the time for us as councillors to move forward and also make it a point that these 5 years, at least we have passed 12 months. It means that we are left with 4 years. We don't have time.
Some say, though, that you may suffer the same fate as Obama Mavundla in future. How concerned are you about that?
We cannot predict the future. What I can say is that I remain independent. I'm not the member of one of the parties that also contributed in me making that I become the deputy mayor. But I believe that I am part of the sources that says the minority voice must be heard. I believe that also moving forward, it is paramount to understand that the nature of the coalition, it calls for a certain kind of leaders. Maturity needs to prevail, because at the end of the day, it's not about us as politicians, but it's about the people, the electorate who voted us or who gave us the mandate to execute.
I'm going to get to that point of maturity in just a moment, but I suppose what you've said then with your earlier statement is that those who are concerned that you are going to be acting on the card of the ANC shouldn't be, that you'll probably just be rubber stamping some of what they want. So listening to what you're saying that they should not be concerned about that.
They should not be concerned about that, because when we are talking about the coalition, the party that I'm coming from, I'm also the provincial secretary. I know the issues of coalition. I've been part of coalition. I know that at the end of the day, as I have said, it's called for certain kind of leaders or who have the certain kind of caliber to make it a point that they make the coalition to work.
So let's talk about, you know, the council in and itself, because right now it is, of course, a coalition government. A recent report by the Auditor General paints a worrying picture of the Ethekwini municipality. I mean, one of these is council failing to institute disciplinary action against a senior manager where financial misconduct was confirmed, and they say that this is a repeat finding. How do you see yourself changing this particular picture?
This particular picture, it calls for monitoring, because some of the things, when you read the report, they talk about not us as the municipality being able to have all the required documents moving forward, and also the issue of making sure that everyone accounts, because accountability is important. And this such a report, they call for a change in the things that we are doing. So it means that as I am the deputy mayor currently, I need to make it a point that next year, when we go for auditing, there will be change that are going to happen. And there needs to also be a collaboration between us as politicians and the administration, so that when it comes to accountability, these two will be at a point where they can account.
It all boils down to numbers in council, though. Do you have them to be able to effect some of these changes you're talking about?
These changes, I said that it calls for maturity. When you are talking about numbers at Ethekwini, nobody thought that moving forward there will be a coalition of all these parties. Some of them, they have different views or also different principles. But when we move forward, I'm saying that this council can make it a point that things are going to be done in a correct manner.
Do you think everyone is mature, as you are saying, and you're calling for something that is critically important, and not only for, the Ethekwini Municipality Council only, but we've seen in various councils across the country where, service delivery grinds to a halt because of the fights in council. So do you think those that you are with here, that you are working with in this particular arrangement, will be able to exercise this maturity you're calling for?
I think they will be able to do that, because when you observe what transpired on the last council meeting, you can see that there was a willingness in most of the parties of saying, let us move forward at Ethekwini. Let us go and look at our IDP and implement it. Let us give each other's task. Let us go and communicate decisions to the community. Let us go there and even communicate some of the challenges that we encounter as the municipality, because that is another area that I identify that in some instance you find that the municipality is not communicating direct to the people of Ethekwini. So sometimes they even don't know what is happening with the current challenges that we are facing.
So how do you remedy that then? What do you have in mind to put in place?
That also calls for a new strategy in the way that we communicate with our people. That also says that even the councillors, they need to make it a point that they understand that these public meetings, they are of paramount importance, so that people can understand what is going on. And also, we are in the fourth industrial revolution. It's also called for us as councillors also to look at other avenues that we can use to communicate with the people, because communication is key.
I suppose then that also goes for the saga with the beaches as well that has been ongoing. I'm sure that would be something that you also take seriously.
Yes, you see, when you're talking about Ethekwini, Ethekwini is an economic hub. So it's very important that we also look at all aspects, and the tourism being the very critical aspect that make it a point that it generates revenue for us as the municipality. So those are the things that one needs to consider, and also come back and say what are the challenges that one have also identified in the office that needs also to be taken into consideration, and also from time to time report the progress.
And I suppose that reporting back of the progress is going to be critical. Thank you so much for your time. Let's see then if you are able to achieve all of these, goals that you're setting yourself there. Good luck as you take up then your role as the Deputy Mayor of Ethekwini. That's Deputy Mayor, in fact, of Ethekwini, Zandile Myeni. And she says that, coalitions require maturity. A very important thing there to think about, especially when you see what has been happening in various councils across the country. So let's see then what becomes of this particular council. Thank you so much for your time.